Pay attention to me. He painted the side of the fence that faces his property a red stain. I'm forming a visual.
Here's a perfect visual picture.
I want you to answer my question.
Okay.
So he painted the fence that only the side that faced his property, a fence that you put in the contract he was to pay for half of, a color that he wanted.
No, I didn't agree to a color he wanted.
No. What side of the fence that faced his property, a fence that he was required to pay half for.
Which did not.
You're not paying attention.
Okay, all right.
A color that pleased him. That's what you're complaining about.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'll take a look at your picture.
In the pictures, it does show the property line where the fence is built on my property. He had to trespass onto my property to paint.
Walking up to this fence to paint it or to have it painted, he was on your property?
Yes, ma'am.
Baloney. Baloney.
Well, he was, ma'am.
Baloney.
There's pictures there that show
Baloney. That faces his house.
It may face his house, but it's on my property. I paid $4,500. He paid $7,000.
Now.
Color of my house. That's the color I painted without.
Painted this, so this is what you look at.
Yes, ma'am.
That matches the trim of your house.
Yes, ma'am.
And this red here
faces my house. My house is in the backdrop.
Just a second. This is your house.
Yes, ma'am.
On the other side of this is his house.
A complete property over.
I want you to answer my question.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a complete fence around all the property.
Yes, ma'am.
The only way you can see this color is by going around all the fences and looking from his side of the property.
No, ma'am, that's not the only way.
Well, what other way can you do it? You can do it with a drone.
It's completely visible to the rest of the neighborhood, anybody on the street, anybody on the sidewalk.
Who cares? That has nothing to do with you. They may like this color. It has nothing to do with you. So your house is completely surrounded by a fence that's paint trim on your house, which it absolutely is consistent with the trim on your house. And that's the only thing that you see when you look out your windows. Am I making myself clear? Do you understand
I understand.
that? I want to make sure that 10 million people understand this. When you look out your kitchen window, your living room window, your bedroom window, your bathroom window, the only color fence you see from inside your house, from your backyard, that your children see, that you... Tell me what happened with the dog.
I was walking home from school and across the street, and a lady was coming up towards me with a dog and baby stroller. And
so she had a baby stroller. That was this lady here?
Yes. Jumping around and making growling noises, and she was saying, "Don't do it" to the dog. And
She said, "Don't do it"?
Yes. She had the leash on her hand while she was holding on to it.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, that is false.
Just a second, don't interrupt. Okay. Go ahead.
And while I passed her, the dog hit her and bit me on the leg.
Okay, and what did you do? Did you go home?
Yes. No.
Did you say anything to the lady?
No.
Did you say your dog bit me?
No.
And said anything to her?
It was my dad.
Your dad found her? Okay. Did you go to the doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me where they gave you the shot. Shots more than once or just once?
I would have, but they found the dog.
So you like?
Yes, it was white and fluffy. It's like medium size.
Had you ever seen this lady or the dog before?
No.
Okay. You can go back there. So you can stand next to your dad in case I have any other questions for you. Mr. Nunez.
Yes.
How did you find Miss Rodriguez?
And then that individual we had spoken to that was in search of that dog also realized that it was the exact same dog that had bitten him. We received a phone call that following day on December 9th, and she informed us of it.
Who called you?
The individual from the Pflugerville Police Department made the phone call to me that next day.
That they had believed...
They did find that dog due to the fact of another individual being bitten.
By that dog?
By the same dog, yes.
On what date was the other individual?
That was on December 9th, in which that second incident occurred.
And the incident involving your son was on the 8th?
On the 8th, the day before. And then we've got documents of both of those incidents.
I'd like to see both.
Your Honor, that was hearsay. That was actually my mom was walking the dog, and there was a pit bull unleashed.
Listen to me. Don't interrupt.
Yes, ma'am.
This is both.
Both. Yes, the first is
if
ourselves.
I ask you a question, but don't tell me what happened with your mom and what's hearsay.
Sure.
I actually know what hearsay is.
You got it.
We're speaking of the dog that's bitten two different individuals, not who was walking it the second day.
Your Honor, may I point out that on that record of my mother-in-law with the second incident, it shows that the other dog was not on a leash and was coming towards my mother-in-law and our dog.
And we actually called 911 that day. My mother did.
Just a second. Were either one of you there?
No.
No, ma'am.
Now I'll hear you. Go ahead. Tell me the story.
Okay, may I approach the board?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so it was December 8th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The school was being...
Sorry, did she say Sunday?
Just listen to me. Don't interrupt her.
Okay.
It was December 8th. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was going down Bishop's Gate. I saw that Samuel was coming, so my sister's very afraid of dogs, so I know to be respectful of others who are walking near us. And so I stopped to the left side with my dog on my left and on my right hand with the stroller. I directed Samuel to go around us and...
Just a second. Be very careful. You know, when you start to say things that you've been practicing in your mind
Yes.
to say, but as you actually articulate them, they sound stupid.
Okay.
Okay? They sound stupid. Then you're sort of getting away from yourself. And that's what's happening to you right now, because now you were turning around because the dog started to bark. And as you were turning around, you were going to tell me what happened? As you were turning around.
As I turned around, I